Hello, I would like to talk to you about The Flash today. I've just finished watching The Flash, and I have quite a few complaints about how it ended. Well, how the first season ended. And if you're watching this and you haven't seen The Flash and you would like to, and you don't want any spoiler alerts, then I highly recommend you stop watching now. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, we have a very crappy drawing. So, in the very beginning, Barry was born. So Barry was born right about here. This is the beginning of our timeline. Okay. And the timeline went all the way through. Okay, to wherever it went. Now, at some point, Barry, the Flash, met the Reverse Flash. And some reason, the Reverse Flash got mad at Barry and decided he was going to go back in time and kill him. So let's say that's right here. Reverse Flash wants to kill the Flash. Okay, just use RF and TF for Reverse Flash and the Flash. All right, so he, along with Barry, the Flash, goes back in time to when he's about 8 years old to basically alter the timeline. Now I'm going to use another color for the alternate timeline here. Okay, so the Reverse Flash kills Barry's mom, creating an alternate timeline where lots of different things happen. There we go. Okay, so that's the alternate timeline they created. Now the Reverse Flash is from this timeline. Okay, and he's now in this timeline. So he's part of the timeline now. All right, so yada yada yada, things happen, and oh, you know what? You can go back in time and save your mom and stop this from ever happening. Okay, Barry says, I will do that. So he wants to go back in time about here, creating a black hole in order to save his own mom and also to let the Reverse Flash go back to his time, which honestly, I don't see how that's happening considering the Reverse Flash would first have to go back in time to before they originally altered the timeline, so somewhere around there, in order for him to jump on the original timeline back to where he was in time. Um, Now, that's not even what I'm trying to hit on. What I'm trying to hit on right now is the fact that uh, Barry is going back to try to change the original timeline, uh, which I guess wouldn't really change the original timeline anyway. It would just create another alternate timeline because the Reverse Flash would still exist in this timeline, therefore changing it. But whatever. I mean, we're getting too complicated here. The main point I'm trying to make is Barry goes back, okay, to a little bit before he originally did, so that he could see everything happen. And he also mucks up a little bit of the timeline by talking to his mother, which he originally did not do. Of course, we did not see that originally, so it may have already been a part of this alternate timeline, so I can't say for sure whether or not that actually affected anything. Anyway, Barry's like, alright, I'm not going to do it, because he himself told him not to do it. So he goes back the same route he took, back to this alternate timeline, and stops the Reverse Flash from going back to his timeline, which wouldn't have been able to happen anyway unless he would have been able to jump back before here to go back there, whatever. Anyway, so a little bit of time passes, and here is where things really get crazy. Eddie kills himself. Now, the craziest thing about this is that Eddie killing himself will do nothing to the Reverse Flash. Even though, for whatever reason, the creators thought it would be very dramatic to have him kill himself and change the fabric of time so that uh, the Reverse Flash didn't exist, in which case he would not have been able to go back in time and kill Barry's mother. That's a whole other story, though, because um, basically, I think by him killing himself in this timeline would have affected everything because basically it would make this timeline not exist and it would be destroyed, um, kind of along the lines of Donnie Darko, for example. So, all right, Eddie kills himself, which supposedly makes the Reverse Flash not exist. Now, what I'm trying to show you here is that the Reverse Flash should still exist because he's actually part of this timeline. Okay? He went back in time, went on this timeline all himself, as his own person. He didn't need anyone to have him created. Eddie did not need to exist in order for the Reverse Flash to exist in this timeline. Eddie could have died here, or died here, or died here, and it wouldn't have mattered because the Reverse Flash would still exist. So that was a little odd to me that the creators decided to do that. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about here, but let's just say here's the Reverse Flash. Okay, let's use another color. Here's the Reverse Flash's um, timeline, so to speak. Say he was born here and he went back in time with Barry. All right, now he's in this timeline and he goes all the way through and boom, Eddie kills himself. Well, he didn't come from here, so why is he dead? Why is Eddie killing himself, killing the Reverse Flash? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Unless it was all an illusion and they hit on that in the next season. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong, is still an interesting, thing to put into the show. However, I feel like they could have done it a little bit differently, been a little more accurate, and by Eddie killing himself did nothing. Because, first of all, that would have made him seem like a very selfless guy. And hey, I'm still a hero. I did something for the greater good and not for myself. And even if it did nothing, it's still the gesture that matters, right? And plus, we would still have the Reverse Flash, which is the Flash's enemy. So, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Hopefully, you understand a little bit of what I'm talking about. Sorry, this video is kind of long. I just truly wanted to explain everything that was on my mind about this show because it's a really good show. I believe it has some potential. They kind of went a little bit off base when they started not adding new metahumans into the show and kind of just brought back old ones. Yeah, it could really be a good second season. I just really hope that they hit on this and quite possibly the Reverse Flash is actually still alive. That would make a lot more sense. And if he's not still alive, it would make absolutely no sense. And I might stop watching the show just because of this. So feel free to post in the comments and I will answer them if I can. Thanks for watching the video and have a great day.